Happy Wednesday, everyone. My name is JT Sui. I'm currently serving as the Director of Culture and Sport with Football Ontario. First and foremost, I just wanted to welcome each and every one of you to the 2025 Top 20 Red Black Draft. Secondly, I wanted to take a moment to thank each of our Team Ontario student athletes and their families, our Team Ontario coaches, support staff, and all of the community partners that have hosted us through the Team Ontario process for ID camps and development camps, whether it's putting our team apparel on or whether it's any of the countless number of volunteers who have helped us hand out pizza, hand out ID camps, or simply help us deliver on-field skill and drill. Without each and every one of you, we wouldn't be here today. And that is the definition of our mantra of "We are Football Ontario." Tonight's draft is an opportunity to celebrate our amazing U18 student athletes in the men's tackle space. In a moment, we're going to introduce our head coach, Coach Tommy Kanichis. And tonight is all about the lead up to RedBlack Weekend, which will be a collaborative effort. Thank you to the University of Waterloo Warriors, the Waterloo Junior Warriors, and Waterloo Tourism for graciously working with us to help plan and really put all the pieces in together for this special weekend, which will be May 3rd and 4th, again at the University of Waterloo. Without further ado, I want to take a moment just to introduce our U18 Team Ontario men's tackle head coach, Coach Tommy Kanichis. Take it away, Coach.
Thank you, JT. Much appreciated. Super excited about tonight. First, want to start with a big thank you to everybody that's joined us through this process, from ID camps to the high dev opportunities. It was a fantastic weekend of development over this past weekend at the University of Guelph. Phenomenal hosts, phenomenal competition, phenomenal showcase. And I can tell you, it made our job as coaches extremely challenging in deciding, cutting down these rosters from 250 to 90. Deciding who will be moving on to phase 3 was an extremely challenging task. Kudos to everybody who had the opportunity to continue to move on. Thank you to all those that joined us for it. Regardless of where you land, whether it be in the draft, in the top 90, or you do not hear your name called or invited over these next week, remember that going through this process about your development and your football journey and being able to consistently develop through phenomenal coaching, connections in the football community is what it's all about. So without further ado, I think it's time we kick it off, get this started. Going into this process, like I said, it was an extremely challenging one to decide who our top 20 will be in tonight's announcement. But want to start with Team Black going in first round here with their draft pick. So with tonight's number 1 pick on Team Black on the defensive side of the ball is a young man who will be returning to us from last year's roster, defending gold. A young man who has continued to develop through his process out of Toronto, Ontario, defensive back, Cassius Peterson. Going into our second pick of the evening, first pick for Team Red, a young man who showcased extremely well throughout the identification process, came in with a work-first attitude in the high dev camp, was fairly dominant at the line of scrimmage, a young man who, without question, makes his presence known when he steps on the football field. Owen Prack out of Stony Creek will be the first pick for Team Red. And with that, Team Black is back on the clock, going into their second pick, a young man who, again, showcased extremely well through the development camp, showcased extremely well through identification camp, has made quite a name for himself through his career to this point. Excited to see where he continues to develop. Sideline to sideline type of athlete, a guy that can play all three positions within his role. For the second pick for Team Black will be Tristan Downey out of Bowmanville. Team Red is back on the clock. And this was a young man who showcased speed, power, agility, ability to run the ball, catch the football, protect well. Running back out of Brantford with the second pick for Team Red, Deacon Solomon. Team Black's pick is in for their number 3 pick. A guy, again, who came all the way out of Simcoe County, showcased extremely well, took extremely well to coaching, worked his tail off through the development camp. Again, showcased a ton of skill. Out of Mimising, Simcoe County, running back Christian Shiger, pick number 3 for Team Black. With that, the next pick is in. For Team Red, next on the clock, picking their third position. Pick number 3 for Team Red, a young man who showcased versatility at his position, ability to play inside and outside, great use of power, great use of speed, showcased extremely well in the run period, team period, one-on-ones, a defensive lineman out of Stony Creek, Jacob Whitlock. Team Black is back on the clock. Their pick is in. A guy who last year had the opportunity to win gold at the Canada Cup with the U18 men's. It's been his pursuit of once again chasing that. Shows versatility playing the corner position, half position, safety position, utility player, hard-nosed athlete, defensive back out of Hamilton, Lucas Underhill. Team Red is up with their 4th pick of the evening. This guy is hard to miss. Came on the field again, towering at 6'8", 300 plus pounds. Played extremely physical, extremely coachable, well mannered. Loves the game of football. A guy that any team would be lucky to have. Team Red is lucky to pick him up with their 4th pick. Offensive lineman Aaron Adane out of Burlington. And Team Black has got their 5th pick in. A guy who throughout his showcase showed versatility and most importantly, loved to compete. High energy guy that was driving his teammates, consistently competing, pushing himself and others around him. A receiver who has extreme playmaking ability. The fifth pick for Team Black, they go with Hugo Thomas, receiver out of Toronto. Team Red has got their selection in for number 5. So for Team Red and their 5th pick, going with a young man that, again, showcased extremely well, physical, extremely coachable, great speed downhill, running back out of Scarborough, Ontario, the Zoo, Jashai Carter. Selection for Team Black has been made with their 6th pick, bolstering the trenches on the defensive side of the ball. Interior defensive lineman who was a menace throughout his whole process up to this point. Defensive lineman out of Dundas, Ontario, Aiden Smallwood. Team Red has made their selection with their 6th pick, responding at the defensive line with a guy who played both interior, exterior at the end position, the tackle position, was extremely competitive, extremely physical in his play, great competitor, defensive lineman out of London, Ontario, Tayshawn Duncan. Team Black has made their selection with their 7th overall pick. On the defensive side of the ball, the guy who controls the middle of the field, the communicator on the defensive side, absolute menace throughout his process to this point, showcased the ability to play sideline to sideline, long snapping on special teams, linebacker out of Oshawa, Ontario, and Football North Clarkson, Logan Wolseley. Team Red has made their selection with their 7th pick overall. Out of Oshawa, Ontario, a guy who showed crisp route running, ability to compete, a want to consistently be a playmaker on the field. Receiver out of Oshawa, Will Pereira. Team Black has made their selection with a versatile athlete, has the ability to play tailback, fullback, tight end. A young man who took extremely well to every challenge I was put in front of him throughout his process to this point, responded extremely well with great competitive state. I want to be a playmaker, a guy who was very selfless in his play. Tight end, fullback, running back out of London, Ontario, Amari Douglas. Team Red has made their selection with their 8th pick overall, anchoring their offensive lineman at the center position. A guy to Oakville originally, representing his program at St. Andrews College, offensive lineman and center Carson Metcalf. Team Black has made their pick at their 9th point overall. Defensive linemen who show the ability to get after the quarterback on a consistent basis, stop the run. Defensive lineman out of Burlington, Ontario, Braden Thompson. Team Red is back on the clock with their 9th pick being selected, representing the eastern part of our province. Out in space, playmaker at the receiver position, the receiver Isaiah Wallace out of Orleans, Ontario. Team Black is next on with their 10th and final pick in this year's 2025 RedBlack Draft. Going out in space on the offensive side of the ball again, responding with the receiver position, a guy who was a great playmaker, showed great speed, agility, a point to attack the ball. Receiver out of Elmira, representing the Cambridge Lions, with the 10th overall pick for Team Black is Spencer Hume. Team Red has made their selection with their 10th and final pick, the final pick of the 2025 RedBlack Draft. An offensive lineman who was quite the technician, showcased ability to compete, a physicality and a dominance. Out of Guelph, Ontario, offensive lineman Otto Beresford. With that, I do want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's taken part of this process up to this point. A massive congratulations to the 20 names that were called tonight. As we move forward, there will be 70 more names announced coming out next week on April 24th to our social media channels. The top 90 across the board will be out next Thursday, April 24th on our Football Ontario social media channels. And regarding the next 70 invites, those will be coming out by end of day tomorrow, Thursday, April 17th by end of day. So for all those that came and competed, keep an eye on your email as you may be receiving an invitation. If you do, congratulations. If you don't, continue to maintain your process. This is all about growth through the game. Congratulations on making it to this point. Thank you for joining us on our football journey all together. All in is something that is communicated quite often throughout this organization. It's something that every athlete and their families came and showcased throughout this. So truly looking forward to May 3rd, May 4th, RedBlack Weekend, hosted at the University of Waterloo. Great opportunity for us to compete, come together as a football community, come together as a football family, showcase some of the best athletes that we have here in our province, the U18 male tackle level. Truly going to be a great weekend of competition, sport, play, an opportunity to really come together and be something that football is all about, which is family. So again, thank you everybody for joining us. Final invitation rounds again will come out tomorrow night. So keep an eye on your email. Again, all the rosters will be announced by Thursday, April 24th. Tickets are currently on sale, so start picking them up now. They are online on sale on the Football Ontario website, so pick yours up now. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. And again, thank you very much for joining us tonight.